track, you know how this goes.
Welcome back to the exciting universe of visual scripting with Effect House. In our previous episodes, we delved into the fundamental components of visual scripting: nodes, interactions, variables, and data that form the backbone of your visual scripting graph. Now, armed with this knowledge, it's time to put theory into practice and start building your graph from scratch. Path of logic. A visual scripting graph functions like a logic map, where each node leads to the next or many. Think of it as crafting a narrative made up of different interactions, a group of link nodes that activate under certain conditions. For example, in this template, this graph has nodes that handle screen drawing, initializing properties, and hiding the UI when the user starts drawing. Let's zoom in to have a look. I'm trying to draw on the screen as the effect suggests. A bunch of nodes light up in blue, which means they are active and signaling that they are performing their tasks. Although it may seem like every node is lighting up simultaneously, there's actually one node that drives the entire logic. Starting your story, the first node. In Effect House visual scripting, some nodes can be the first node that drives the following logic. These nodes are the drivers. They are like the first sentence of a story, setting everything in motion. They come in various types. The two most common nodes that can drive the logic are start and update. Upon opening a visual scripting graph, you'll see the two nodes already existing in the editor. 1. Start node. These nodes trigger the next node at the same time when your effect is active. 2. Update node. Just like the start node, this will trigger the next node when the effect is active as well. The key difference between these nodes is how frequently they can trigger the next node. The start node triggers the next node only one time once the effect starts. Start node is useful for setting initial parameters, or starting introductory animations, like a hint telling the effect user to tap the screen to trigger the effect. The update node, on the other hand, is suitable for monitoring real-time changes in the environment or for triggering continuous animations. In this example I'm showing you, it continuously triggers the calculation of whether the user's head is close to the answer. Notice that the if node is lighting up in blue all the time. Why is this? It's because the update node is triggered for every frame of the video, meaning it will repeatedly execute its connected logic as the effect runs on your screen. Event nodes. Apart from the start and update nodes, your logic can also be driven by event nodes. Right-click and go to Select Add Node. When the node library shows up, find the event category. All nodes under this category can be the first node of your logic. Unlike start and update nodes, which are active when your effect starts running, the rest of the nodes act like observers in your story, constantly watching for specific actions or elements. In this example, the finger touch node waits for your finger to touch the screen. So, until I tap on the little heart button, it then triggers the next logic. Video record is also a very handy driver node that can start effects after the user presses the video recording button on their TikTok app. In Effect House, our preview panel mimics the TikTok UI. So, if you press this red recording button here, it will activate the video record node and the rest. On start, this port executes the next node when the recording begins. In this case, displaying the sphere. Similarly, on stop, executes the next node when the recording is stopped or paused. These are all one-time executions. The recording port continues to execute the next node during recording. In this case, it's continuously changing the texture of the object. Similarly, Not recording also executes continuously but only when not recording. You can decide which port to use depending on the interaction you want to create. Detection nodes. Beyond the standard event nodes, another category, somewhat hidden within the node library, holds significant potential. These are the detection nodes. To uncover them, simply type detection in the node library search bar. Similar to event nodes, these detection nodes await specific actions from the camera stream before springing into action and triggering subsequent nodes. Here are a few examples. Gesture detection captures specific gestures, providing options to choose which gestures will trigger the following nodes. Click the Learn More button to check what gestures it can detect. Head movement detection tracks the movement of the head, allowing you to specify which particular movement triggers the effect. So here, we're using the head shake option.
If we go to the preview panel and find the one where the model's head turns,
See?
it triggers the sticky note to release.
However, not every node labeled detection starts the logic flow. To determine if a detection node can start the flow of logic, look at its structure. Here, we have 3 different nodes: facial expression detection, beats detection, and if. The facial expression detection node is the only one that can drive logic and be the first node. Why is that? Remember, in the first episode, we discussed that nodes have 2 types of connection ports. Control ports, green triangles, direct the logic flow. Data ports, gray circles, transfer information between nodes. A node capable of driving logic should possess green triangle ports on its right side, indicating its ability to command other nodes. There should be no green triangles, control ports, on its left side, signifying it can be activated without commands from other nodes. Quiz time.
You're creating an interactive effect.
A glowing aura will appear around a person when they move. The aura's intensity should change based on the person's movement speed. Which node should you use to trigger the aura, and which should you use to modify the intensity based on the speed? A. Trigger the aura with the start node and adjust the intensity with the update node. B. Trigger the aura with the update node and adjust the intensity with the start node. Your next steps. Now that you've mastered the hardest part of starting your visual scripting logic from 0 to 1, it's time to add 0 after your 1. In our next video, we'll guide you through translating this visual scripting logic into a cohesive, interactive story from start to finish. Begin crafting your visual scripting graphs using what you've learned about control flow and initiator nodes. See you in the next video.